Well, hello there.
Hello, welcome to the Straight Red Card. We actually had a show that we recorded before that didn't work out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It never ended up in the file.
It was there after we got done recording it. I went to check on it today at work so I could post it to come out at 10 o'clock, and it was gone.
Yeah.
What happened? Don't know what happened to it.
It's probably fine. We were really trashed in that show. So both of us were slurring at that point.
Slurring our words.
I mean, we drank for an hour and a half with Sam. I mean, that was a pretty solid hour and a half of drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, should mention that I heard that Filippo and Pete are going to start a podcast. Called Tactical Yanks, which I love those two guys, but I mean, all of us, when we yank it, are pretty tactical about it. I mean, alone, quiet.
We certainly don't record it.
Can focus on the
often.
Can focus on the material. But anyhow, that's going back to their own jokes about 11 wanks, which is something that Filippo said all the time, which is pretty funny. Also, before we get so this episode's going to be about what just happened, which is McKennie is now injured. Rain is injured. How is that going to affect things? And we're going to recap some of the play today. And yes, I had to shave. I didn't have to. I just did. I'll let it grow back out. Don't worry. But
I mean, you look totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, you're there, but I mean, if you imagine me shaving my face, you've never seen me without a beard.
You don't have as much gray as I do. So you like when I shave, people are like, "Oh my God, you look like 10 years younger." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that."
I won't mind the gray. I'm getting some gray, like in my chin. But I don't care at this point. I like the salt, quote unquote, salt and pepper look.
The problem really
with
me as I've gotten older is my nose keeps growing.
Yes, so are your ears. That's what happens when you get older.
Like my nose used to be really small when I was young. I mean, I was a young little whippersnapper. People used to compare me to Tom Cruise and shit when I was in high school and college. And now look at this fucking honker. It's taken up like a massive part of the middle of my face all of a sudden. It just keeps getting bigger. I'm catching up to my dad's nose at this point, and he has a big honker. So, all right. Oh, by the way, I didn't realize it today, but I was stuck on the Straight Red Card YouTube page, and I thought it was on my own page, my own YouTube subscription. So I'm like, why am I getting all these weird fucking videos? I don't care.
You weren't searching naked yoga again, were you?
It was just like a lot of animal stuff. I'm like, why is my page suddenly dominated by animal things? And I couldn't figure it out. And then I finally realized it when the 18th shark video was up there. And in fact, it was titled Second Worst Shark Attack in History. I highly doubt that's true. I didn't watch it. But the second worst shark attack, being that hundreds of people have died from shark attacks, if you die from a shark attack, those are all pretty much equal, right? So that's at least hundreds that are equal. So what could be the second worst?
Oh no, I think there are varying levels of awfulness when it comes to getting eaten by a shark or killed by a shark. I mean, snapping your head off, instant. Him nibbling from your toes up, not so instant. I feel like that would suck a lot more, It
reminds me of the movie Jaws when, at the end, the guy's sliding down the boat. Quinn, he's getting slowly, chomped up.
Well, he's kicking, and all of a sudden, Jaws got a good chunk from right about the midriff. And at that point, you're going to bleed out really quick.
Yeah, you would hope. He would. I rewatched that movie.
Actually, he ended up swallowing him too because he had the grenade in his hand or whatever. whatever it was. No, it wasn't that. It was something else. I'm thinking of something
It
else.
wasn't a grenade. It was
He ended up eating one of the oxygen canisters or whatever. He blew that up.
And,
but I'm mixing that up with 3. I think it's number 3 where the guy got eaten. He has a grenade in his hand.
3?
Yeah. Jaws 3D.
No.
That was great.
That was done. I was done after 2. But yeah, I think who was the 2 science nerds that used to always do all the science experiments and test things out?
Adam Savage and what's his face from Mythbusters.
Right. And they actually recreated trying to shoot an oxygen bottle with this exact same gun in Jaws, and they couldn't make it happen. Like they couldn't make the so they're like, we're debunking that. That couldn't have happened. It is impossible to shoot one of those things and have them explode. So anyhow, now that we've wasted 5 minutes and 52 seconds of the world's time, let's get on to what happened today, which was Pulisic balled out and played really well for the first time for Chelsea in some time. I mean, he made run after run after run. He put some other guys in some really good situations, which they did not finish or did not get a good cross on, and he scored. And the goal he finished, it was not like a simple finish. He had to, curl it into the corner around the keeper. But there was a great pass for, I think it was Conte who passed him the ball. Mm-hmm. What does this say? I can't read that.
You can't read that?
No, it's so small.
It says, I think he's got more quality than Mason Mount, Ziyech, Havertz, technically and movement with the ball. He's the best player I've seen quality-wise. I just haven't seen it enough.
Who said that?
Jamie Carragher. Carragher?
Oh, well, Carragher's right.
Carragher. There we go. Was right the first time.
Yeah. Although I hate his accent, it makes me want to, I don't know, not listen to him. But he's right about that. We need to see more of this. This was a different Pulisic. I don't remember this. I haven't seen this Pulisic for a while now. But this guy was ready to go. I mean, he had no issues today going at people, but in a smart way. He had space, and he moved into the open space, and he would attack that open space. And when he had to pass it off, he got rid of it. So that is good news. On the bad news side of things, unfortunately, is McKennie broke his, I can't remember the 2 bones in his foot.
It is.
There was a report that
Juventus and US men's national team midfielder Weston McKennie has suffered a rupture of the second or 2D and 3D, I'm guessing, second and third, metatarsal of his left foot.
Okay.
So they're saying he's out for 2 to 3 months. So bye bye World Cup qualifying window. But we're gonna see Luca De La Torre back apparently then.
Yeah. I mean, we should. People are going to ask, well, what's the solution? And somebody asked me that today. Mm-hmm. And I said, Luca De La Torre is the answer.
We bring it at that point. Boosie will be over his beer bug. And then we look at the possibility of having more of an attack-minded midfielder with Musa.
I'm not sold on Busio yet. I need more. I need to see some more.
The big question is, who else would you see in? Not on the field, but called in.
Well, we're rolled on and Leggett are going to be there, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna let's
That's realistic.
They're required. They're required by contract.
Right. I mean, they're Greg's guys, so they'll probably be there. I mean, there may come a time soon when Leggett just doesn't. He's like, no, every time you call me up, I just ride the back of the bus the whole game, the whole window. So why don't you pick somebody else and try them out and give them some time and get them integrated? I think I might be done. We could see that. I mean, it would be really honorable if Leggett did that, because I think that he's at an age right now where I'm not seeing the same Leggett I saw 3 or 4 years ago.
I mean, this is the second window where he hasn't even seen playing time. I mean, it would seem that he's on the way of being phased out. So.
I would agree. I would agree with that. You would think the same for Roldan, who's been worse in some ways than Leggett in some games. So, yeah, I think we will have to see Luca De La Torre, Musa, and Adams as the starters.
What do you think of the like we've talked about it? We talked about Gio going back to the midfield. Although not that it was ever going to happen,
Yeah.
but I mean we're looking at depth in the midfield. And again, once you get past Luca De La Torre and possibly Buzio,
I mean,
you're looking at untested people. You're looking at Tessman. Or we're relying on the old guard, the Roldans and Legetts.
I'd be more comfortable playing Aronson at midfield
There you go.
than Reyna. And Reyna's not going to be there either, based on what I'm reading now. Even though it wasn't that serious, he's not even going to return to training between 2 and 3 weeks from now.
No, yeah, they said 14 days. So
yeah, and that's just training. Okay, they didn't say he'll be playing. It's going to take him another week after that, more than likely, for him to actually play a game for Dortmund. And if that happens, fine. But I think at this point, it might be a little bit of wishful thinking, especially Dortmund's going to want to baby him back. They did this time as well. They took their sweet ass time. The manager made a big deal about we're not rushing him back, but now he's healthy and we're going to start him. And they did start him, and then he got hurt right away again. So can you imagine if Pulisic and Weah pull up with a hammy here coming up soon, or Adams? Jesus Christ.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Fuck off.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. But we can't afford to lose many more of these guys. We really can't.
Yeah, we got Morris and Areola waiting on the wings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, I'm fine with Morris, and Areola puts in a good effort at least. So I think we're still okay. But, going into this last window, it'd be nice to feel like all our best guys are going to be there. McKennie's going to be there. Reyna's going to be there. Adams going to be there. Pulisic's going to be there. And whoever plays center forward, fuck, who do I know? Sargent.
Wrong one. Let's talk about Horvath first since I pulled it up.
Horvath played a game.
Well, I mean, kind of required to unless he pulled up lame, given the fact that their main goalkeeper has like a 3-game suspension.
Yeah, so he's got 2 more coming to him.
Hey,
and then he'll go back to riding pine after that.
You continue doing well. Keep putting up these clean sheets. I pointed this way as if it's not on the screen itself. But
do we know if he had to save anything today?
He had 4 saves.
Okay, that's good. Yep. I didn't watch the game, but I knew it was a 0-0 tie and that he played, which was like, holy shit, he played? We already knew that he was going to play. But couldn't you almost saw a sequence where the coach is like, yeah, I think we're going to start the 3rd string goalkeeper instead of you, Horvath, because we don't trust you worth a shit. What's this?
This is Sargent's heat map.
Okay.
So despite the loss, hence the title, but despite the loss, Sargent played real well. He had some a couple of missed passes. I mean, he had a 58% pass completion. But I mean, that's as a outside striker with playing against Liverpool and having no real support moving up top. 6 out of 10 passes completed is not terrible. I mean, it's not great by any means, but given the opposition.
I wish there was more yellow in their side of the Liverpool field.
Well, again, like, understandable why though.
Yeah, look, he's playing fucking right back. Look at that shit. He's not playing right mid.
And a little bit of center striker. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he squeezed in there a couple times. And yeah, he got an assist. It really wasn't. I mean, it was what Rashica did. It wasn't really what he did. Because think about it, when the ball flew in, I don't know if we have this clip too, but it flew in. He kind of took it off his chest, but he looked a little surprised at first, and then he dribbled it around for a while. Didn't get greedy, which he needs to get greedy. And then he kind of said, well, fuck it. That's not working. I'm going to pass it to Rashica. And Rashica, as usual, just shot the fucking ball. That's the greediest dude on the field. That dude will shoot anything. So there's that. Speaking of Horvath, didn't they play Preston North End? Yes, they did. Sunday did not dress. He's still injured. He's played one game this season, I believe. One Sunday. That's how much injured he's been.
Also, just jumping back to Sargent real quick.
Yeah.
If you guys on Twitter have not followed him, follow Sargent Team 678. That is a Twitter account that's strictly pushing the Sargent to midfield narrative.
Oh God.
So.
Well, we know who that is, right?
Yes, we do.
At this point,
I'm sure it's well known within the community, or even just out and about in general. But yeah,
at this point, why not try him at striker? At least he plays for his team.
On the US, play him at striker.
Yeah, I mean he plays. I know he doesn't play striker. I mean he plays a forward, right winger, or right attacking midfielder if you want.
This could be his chance to crack the midfield for US.
I just don't see that happen with Greg.
Oh, I don't either. But I mean,
if Pepe keeps riding Pine like he did this weekend for Augsburg, he got 8-10 minutes at the end. I don't remember what it was, but it's not a lot. I mean, and I get it. Augsburg said they were going to bring him in slower this time. They're not going to just throw him into the deep end. They spent a lot of fucking money on him. And the other guys, though, started scoring. They're like, oh, shit, this young kid's breathing up our ass. We better get our shit together. And now all of a sudden, the Augsburg forwards are scoring goals.
They're scoring, but now they need to start winning more.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, as far as strikers concerned, I think Pete Fox is going to be I think he should be called up for that reason.
You better
he is,
in
fact, scoring goals.
Yeah, you better be right about that.
So, I mean, so that makes sense. You can have P. Fox starting at striker, and then you throw Sargent into midfield because, again, with Norwich, when he plays in the midfield, he's had his best games for them. His highest rating games have always been on the midfield. Now, mind you, that's in the that's in their 4-2-2-2 that they played. It's not in a 4-3-3 by any means.
No,
but I mean, Sargent's got the work ethic. He could do it, but that's never going to happen.
We saw him play winger once for Greg. Once.
Well, that was against that was Honduras game, wasn't it? Or was it Panama?
I don't remember.
It was one of the away ones, and our team was playing shit regardless.
And he got yanked at halftime.
Yes.
So
he wasn't having a good game. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm just saying the entire team itself was not having a good game either, and that plays into factor. If you're already going to be playing a little poorly, it's going to be expanded on whenever the entire team's playing poorly. So
yeah. Marlon Fossey went 90 for Bolton, by the way, today. In another win for Bolton. Like, as soon as I think they've won every single game.
I forgot, was this a loan or a transfer?
I think it was a loan.
Okay.
He
was with Fulham earlier?
Yes. He was on the U23 Fulham team, and then they loaned him out to Bolton down in League One, and he's kicking ass, dude. He's got goals, assists. He's getting to use his speed. Gooch also played 90 in a loss for Sunderland, who are dropping they're way up there. Like, they were in promotion, right? They were headed towards promotion. End of the season, they start losing every fucking game and tying every game. They can't get a win. So at least he's back from injury. So we'll see how that might help him. It didn't help him today. He didn't do anything. No goals, no assists. Was interesting to see that Indiana Vassilev, since he's gone back to Aston Villa's U23s, hasn't played a fucking second for their U23s. So I don't know what's going on there, but he's definitely not listed on the first team. Remember when he was in the first team at Aston Villa? Well, I think those days are over.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to look for another loan or.
It was first team whenever Aston Villa was in Championship, wasn't it?
No.
It was in EP. Okay.
Yep. He played 4 games for them in the Premier League. Never started, but he came off the bench 4 times. And it's just weird to see his trajectory. He was like one of the super kids back in the day. Like, people are like, this kid. Back when he was like 15, they're like, oh my God, this kid is sick. So we'll see what happens. But the fact that he's not even playing for the U23s, I don't know what that's about. I don't know how many U23 games there were. I just looked it up today and said, has he played lately? No, he hasn't. So, but he is listed on their U23 team for now. I don't know if there's anybody else we want to cover from the weekend. It seems like the weekend's passed us by at this point. I mean,
at this point, it's.
yeah.
I don't think we need to go through the whole list. We're already sitting 20 minutes in.
No, I don't think we're going through any lists. I mean, there's not much to say. Scally got 23. I guess that's a kind of thing you have to highlight. EPB lost for Troyes again. I'm just going to mention some of the guys that are really in contention for maybe a call up. Conrad all of a sudden did not dress for Marseille. What the hell's going on there? I don't know. Timothy Tillman continues to get the start and go 90 for Firth. What other big players here? Tessman went 15. Lucio's got yellow card accumulation. Fuck those people. They're not important. Des went 90 for Barcelona. He played pretty well, I thought. Matthew Hoppe did not play again. Not a fucking minute. Musa was in the 18 for Valencia, and after starting game after game after game, I guess they were just like, give this kid a rest. I don't know. Didn't play. The Sonora brothers went at it in Argentina. No, they didn't, because Joel didn't play. Allen did, and he went 90 in a win for Independiente. Aronson got the goal. That was awesome. McKenzie, 45, yanked at halftime for poor play and a loss. Who else is relevant? I
mentioned PFOC. He got a goal.
Yep, PFOC got a goal. None of those guys are really relevant. So I think that's pretty much it. Saturday, Pulisic did play in a win. We've already talked about him. Sargent in another loss. We already talked about him. The Ream Robinson pair at Fulham keep winning.
They lost.
No, they didn't.
They lost 2-1.
Yeah, they were keeping winning until this weekend.
Yeah, I had mentioned in the previous show that if they would have played the entire game like they did for like the last 8 minutes of the game, there's no way that they would have lost.
Yep. Brooks went 90 in a loss for Wolfsburg, but wasn't his fault. He played really well. Richards is still,
he just came back. He came back to training.
Yeah, so he might be back soon. Che was in the 18 for Hoffenheim, but didn't play.
While we're there, Paredes was for Wolfsburg.
Yep.
On the 18.
Didn't play. A lot of these guys, I don't know what happened with De La Torre. Maybe it was an injury or something. He didn't play this weekend for Heracles. Not sure what's going on there. And then Miazga, 90 in a ass-kicking loss. But that's because LaGuardia is out right now with red card accumulation. So he should get 3 games in a row, unless he keeps playing like that. That's not going to help him. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just thinking most of these other guys are kind of on the periphery.
Inconsequential.
I mean, people were talking about who's going to replace. One guy was like, who's going to replace McKennie? How about Mendez? You mean the guy, Mendez, who played 2 minutes for Vizela in a loss this past weekend? That guy? No, I don't think so.
He's been getting 90 minutes, or he's been starting for a lot of the games recently.
But he's not playing that great. It's not that good. Ledesma, he's at PSV 2. He's not going to replace.
And despite the fact that even that they might be possibilities, let's just say, it apparently takes 3 windows to learn Greg's system.
Which we're going to get into the next episode, so stay tuned.
Don't expect anybody new, guys. It's going to be a lot of the same.
So until then, we will be back with the last segment of this round of shows. And stick with us. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing it with your grandma. We appreciate all that. We've got a lot of grandmas out there who are fans of the show. I had a lady at Kroger the other day come up to me and say, "Aren't you that guy on the straight red card?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And she hit me with her purse.
My grandson sent me this, and you guys talked about balls for 20 minutes.
And then you talked about porn. How dare you?
What's wrong with this world?
Get off the interwebs. All right. All right. From Gizmo, myself, and Brett, we'll see you soon.